Right then, so you've offered your shiny new candidates, they've accepted, you've put together a kick-ass onboarding process, an amazing induction and a wonderful experience for those first-time new joiners to your organisation. And I'm afraid to say, I'm very sorry if this disappoints anybody, but the hard work still doesn't stop. You've still got to keep going, because not only do you have to attract them and interview them and offer them and onboard them, you've got to keep hold of them, because you don't want to have to go right back to the beginning, a bit like recruitment snakes and ladders. You don't want to have to keep going back to the beginning and recruiting for the same positions, because once you've onboarded them, that's it, you stop. So the work just keeps on going. It just shifts and changes shape as you go through the recruitment process. And it kind of, I know we've kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? We kind of moved into HR waters, but recruitment and HR are so closely linked. We sit together. If we were all employed by the same company, we'd sit next to each other and we'd both be involved in the recruitment and the interview process and potentially onboarding. So I just kind of wanted to give you that little bit of extra tips so that because I know this is about recruitment, but I don't want you to have to keep repeating recruitment because you're falling down after onboarding. So I'm going to do this video is just to touch on retention, how to keep hold of your shiny new team members and the ones that you've already got. I mean, this video should hopefully give you some ideas on how to keep hold of existing teams, not just your new ones, because everybody is just as important as each other. So retention needs to start straight after offer, much like onboarding. You don't want to run the risk of losing people. Recruitment is hard work. I hope you appreciate our lives as recruiters now. You've been through these videos, because there is so much to it, much more than many people realise. But it's all about wanting people to feel valued, so that you're making them feel valued through your recruitment process, your interview process, offer and onboarding, and that has got to continue, and not just for like a few months after they've onboarded, for their entire career with you guys, because without good people, you do not have a business. Unless you're a one-man band, that's the only exception to that rule, because they're your most important asset. Without them, you've got nobody making products, you've got nobody delivering a service, unless you're just going to do everything. Which you can do if you're a one-person band. Sorry, Emily will shout at me. Got to be all about equality. But yeah, you need them. They look after your customers. You don't necessarily look after your customers. And so you have a duty of care to look after your team, look after your people, and they will look after your customers. And then everybody will be really happy. So people just, as human beings, and not just candidates are human beings. I think sometimes people forget that. But as human beings, we seek out social connection and interaction. We want to be valued, we want to be cared about, and we want to be thought about. We want to feel like we're important to a business, or we're an important part of somebody's life. That is just kind of normal human desires. And so candidates are no different, employees are no different. They are people. So you need to make them feel those things whilst they work for you. And to do that, communication is key. And so regular reviews will be my biggest tip, really. Once you've started with you, I think through the onboarding process, you'll probably have more regular reviews. You might meet with your new hires every week or every fortnight. But after that, and they've kind of progressed maybe after a few months, I would suggest to continue with your regular one-to-ones. So at Fresh, we have our one-to-ones every 4 weeks. Many of them end up being a bit like counselling or therapy sessions. There's always a box of tissues to hand just in case. But they give an opportunity to regularly catch up. It's a safe space for that employee to talk about how they felt over the last 4 weeks, how things have gone, things that have been challenging, things that have not gone well, that they're bothered about, they're upset about, and things that have gone fantastic, things that they're so happy about, and they want to talk to you about it because they've enjoyed it and they want to do more of it. So it's a safe place for all of that. So that could be things they're not happy with their job, or things not going well, they feel like they're struggling, they might need some training, some development. Are they having any issues with co-workers or specific customers or anything like that? You can talk about anything. It's their time where they get to tell you how they feel, what they think, and then you can give your feedback, and you can also mentor, guide, advise, and help, and then it gives you an indication as to whether they need help and support going forward, whether it's from you or somebody else. And then it isn't just your 4 weekly one-to-ones that you need to think about. You've got your appraisal process, so whatever you call that within a business, because appraisal is quite, I suppose, an outdated term. It doesn't really say what it is, I suppose. They kind of have changed, but we have our annual appraisal process with a 6-month point and a 12-month point, and that happens for everybody. And then obviously for new starters, you have your probation review, so whether that's at 3 months or whether that's at 6 months like us. But it's all about communicating, creating safe and private spaces to communicate one-on-one with your team, so that they feel comfortable to be honest and tell you about everything that's going on. Because the more you communicate with transparency and honesty, the more you know about each other, the more solid that relationship is. There's trust and respect, and that's when amazing things happen. Another thing that I would think is a really good tip for retention is to make sure that you offer progression and training. Don't take people for granted. Notice skills, notice experience, and allow people to do more. Give them more responsibility. You'll be really surprised at the positive results. Give them more accountability. That's when people really appreciate that, because it shows that you trust them, it shows that you respect them as a professional in your organisation, and that will make them feel amazing, and then they'll go and do even better work for you. And again, everybody is a winner. Team building. If you know Fresh, you will know that we are avid fans of team building. We get comments a lot on social media. People say, do you actually do any work at Fresh? I'm like, yeah, do you know what? We work our asses off, but we also have lots of laughs. Nearly channeling my inner Cilla Black there. But we do loads together, and I think it's really important because we work really hard, and me and Emily have high expectations of people here. But we realise that means we've got to give back more and more, because our team give us more and more. So it's only fair if we return the favour by creating fun things to do. So we get someone to come and deliver HIIT sessions. We do something called Feel Fresh Fridays now. So on a Friday, we get someone in to do a HIIT session or a yoga session. Every 5th week, we have Cheryl Britton from YOLO Wellbeing, shout out to her, to come and give us massages in her wellbeing van. We go and do activities, so soon we're going to the Addington Centre, we're doing archery, kayaking, what else we're doing, like climbing into trees, something called a Jacob's Ladder. We've done all kinds of things, but it really brings the team together. They don't have to talk about work, you get to know each other more, even if it's just going out for food or a few drinks, or going on a night out, or going watching a show, or it can be anything. Team building, all it is bringing your team together away from work, ideally out of the office, although you don't always need to do that, where they get to know each other, they solidify and build those relationships, you get to know them, and they get to know you as a person. Because I think sometimes as someone's boss, that's what people see you as, and I think sometimes your team can, and through no fault of their own, forget that you are a person sometimes. And so by spending time with them outside of work, and you can talk to them about what you get up to, they can find out about who you are, they're more and more likely to look at you as a person and not just their boss, which I think is really important. So well-being and health are really important as well, kind of feed into team building really, and little things like just simply having a water cooler and promoting people being hydrated, making sure they're taking regular breaks and they're getting outside for fresh air. They know that they're taking their lunch breaks as well. They're not just working and working and working. They're not staying too late. They're not coming in too early and doing all of this, because then they'll get burnout. It's making sure that everyone's eating well and exercising to the level of what it is that they do, even if it's just going for a walk. You have a responsibility as an employer to look after your team and make sure they're healthy, happy and well. It's a bit like being someone's mum and dad sometimes, but if you look after your team, they will appreciate that. And again, it just enables a better, more productive, cohesive unit really, and you become much more than a group of people coming to work every day. You become a team and a bit more like a little family. Flexibility is also something that will help with retention, offering the option to work from home. If you can't, I don't believe in people fully working from home because I feel like you lose that team environment, you lose that culture, and you lose that social interaction with each other. But if you offer flexibility to work from home if someone needs it or wants it, flexible hours, or understanding that they have personal lives, like someone might need to take time off to deal with something, or they might need to come in late or leave early to go to a doctor's appointment. But all of these things, whilst they seem small, do make a big impact because the small things count for a lot. We like to celebrate everything at Fresh, but birthdays and anniversaries are really important. I did hear the team, when we had someone in from a trial, they were really selling to us, saying we get 2 cakes a year, one for your birthday, one for your anniversary, and it really made me smile. But celebrating people's birthdays and their work anniversary with you is really important because they are important milestones, and it doesn't take a lot to chuck in to get someone a present. I've really got an itchy nose on this video. To chuck in and get someone a present and a card, maybe a balloon, maybe a cake. We do all of these things, but you don't have to. And I suppose all of these things feed into trust and respect. Give people responsibility, trust them, and show that you trust them. Don't just say it, because it really, really builds a positive team environment and an amazing culture. One thing as well that might be really useful for you, my nose is still itching, is to do anonymous surveys. So we did one a while back actually to ask about benefits, because we thought maybe we should revamp our benefits now we've been going a bit longer instead of just holidays and pension. And I was really surprised at the results of what people asked for. So do anonymous surveys to ask people about things like that, or just to ask their thoughts on the business. You'll be really surprised sometimes by the ideas that people might have that you can implement to make it an even more amazing place to work. And it really will help you revamp your benefits and perks to make them relevant to the people that work for you, because you've got all your standard ones, but some people might really not be bothered about that, and there might be some commonality across the team of something that you never ever would have thought about. We've got a customer at the moment that offers car valeting every month to their team, and for them to have the house cleaned, which are brand new ones that I've never heard of, and they may even pinch. So I think that is it from me today on retention, and I'll see you on the next video.